right now, today, this second, I am speaking with Dave and Makayla Harris, who I just met 37 seconds
Yes.
ago.
It was our pleasure.
And who also just met me.
Yes, exactly.
This is all new for all of us.
And you're wonderful.
Just give me a few minutes. So you guys, we're here at Shutterfest 2018.
Our first Shutterfest.
Also mine.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was sick of hearing about it.
Same. We've heard so many great things. We're like, we have to get there.
Yeah.
This thing's blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, at this rate, in 5 more years, it's going to eclipse everything if it keeps going.
Yeah.
I can't believe
It seems
how
that
big
way.
it is.
We walked in, there was about 1,000 photographers in the lobby at 10 o'clock at night, already still shooting, flashes going off. It's insane.
It was insane.
There's a legit 2,500 people here, attendees only. That's counting just
Wow.
attendees only. And this isn't a huge place, so it feels super busy. The energy is really high.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Now, so because I don't know you guys at all, and you don't know me at all, why don't you legitimately tell me about yourselves right now? Nothing can, folks, because I don't know these guys at all. I just was introduced to them. They seem wonderful, so we're giving this a shot. Who is Dave and Makayla Harris?
Because I'm a gentleman, I'm going to let my wife lead with that.
Good call.
So we are a husband and wife photo and video duo. Mm-hmm. So we started our business about 6 years ago. Just because I wanted to have better photos of my children, and became that momographer, where our business quickly grew. And David was second shooting for me at the time. We started offering video so that we could offer both aspects. And
Because our brides were asking for it. They
Yeah.
asked for video. I said, well, if I can not be a second shooter and I could run my own thing, then that's what I'm going to do.
So mostly weddings at the beginning too?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, we were just starting out, so like we were shooting anything that came our way. But as the business progressed, we definitely niched down quite a bit and focused more on weddings.
On weddings,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yep.
And that's extremely conducive to videography,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your cup of tea?
Yep. Well, I mean, I guess you could say it's my company. I run the video team.
Right.
Yep, and I do more of the photo stuff.
And where are you guys from? I don't even know that.
Saratoga Springs, New York. We started our business in Boston.
Okay.
And then we moved back to Saratoga Springs, which is closer to Mykayla's family roots.
Right.
Yeah.
So this has been about 6 years, and you both do this full time?
Yes.
We are full-time now. Yeah, David full-time 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
3 years ago,
3 years ago,
Yep.
joined on full-time. And that's when we decided to move back to Saratoga because it was just too tough being away from our kids
Yeah, we have 2 kids.
all weekend,
Mm-hmm.
shooting weddings without family around.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So how old are the children?
They are 6 and 4. We have the older is Blake and the younger is Leah, and we're missing them.
It's tough to do this too.
Oh, I had to bring
This
mine
is their
with me
spring
this
break,
week.
so.
Oh, that's why I had to bring mine with me this
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
they're at the Science Museum today.
Oh,
And
nice.
loving
That's
life
wonderful.
with
Yeah.
their mama. How has that worked for you in particular, David? The transition between full time for someone or something else
That's
into
interesting.
this, like all the eggs in one basket sort of philosophy,
It's
if
so-
you will.
That's so funny that you say that, because initially when we were thinking about me coming full time, my career was in finance. So all eggs in one basket was kind of what I told
His
people not
nightmare.
to do.
Don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that.
That's what you guys always
Yes,
say.
exactly.
That's what
So
my guy always says
that
to
was
me.
my job. Yeah,
Yeah.
to tell people not to do that.
Don't do what I'm doing,
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. So it was a bit of a struggle at first, but I was already kind of doing the back end of the business with Mykayla and shooting video and kind of doing my full-time job
Yep.
in Boston, and I was getting burnout. With the 2 kids, and just life was kind of coming at us full force.
Yep.
And when we moved back to Saratoga, the cost of living was lower, and it just made more sense for me to come on full-time. And then we've decided, we've branched out into the education circuit, so we have different income streams that are coming in from outside of just weddings.
Sure.
So we do have a bit of diversification, but it's not like we are reliant on the wedding market.
You have
at
like
this point.
3 baskets that are all
Yes.
tied together,
Yes.
and all the
Sure.
eggs are kind
Yeah.
of touching,
Exactly.
even if they're in different
Yes.
baskets.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
I can relate. Mykayla, how was it for you to go through that transition with him?
It was interesting because I had known that he enjoyed his current career. He enjoyed working in finance. Working for me was just kind of something that he did on the side, and because I needed it from him. And so when we were talking about our business was just growing and I needed someone else to be there more, it was kind of the decision of hiring a business partner or being a business partner. And at first it was tough because we live together, we work together, we raise our children together. So everyone always jokes like, how do you guys do it all the time together? And it was certainly tough figuring out the dynamic on how to work best together. But, honestly, I feel like at this point it strengthened our marriage because we had to learn how to run a business together. And now we can kind of relay that into our marriage as well.
Talk to me for a bit. And side note, we can cut the next 2 minutes out. Right?
It'll be good. We're good
so
at this.
you know. But talk to me a bit, either one or preferably both of you, about the struggles of that piece, right? So like you're mentioning how it made your marriage stronger, but in my experience, you get stronger because you go through tough times or you get through a struggle together or you suffer together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what builds the strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So say a little bit about that if you can and are willing.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess, like when he decided to come full time with the business, I just assumed that now there would be two leaders in the business and there would be two business partners running it together. And I'm a very, goal-oriented. I'm a dreamer, so to speak. Like, I just love looking for the next thing. And David is more of
the doer.
he's a more realistic point of view. He's kind of the analyst, so to speak. And so at first, when I was looking to him for like, let's find this new idea, let's go do this, and he was kind of the one that was like, well, let's really think about what we're doing. It just kind of became it became a little bit difficult for my enthusiasm level, and it took a bit to realize like, okay, this is what he's better at, and that's why it makes me better at the alternative.
So
and just
did
kind
you
of
have
honoring
to?
that.
I'm asking this because this really resonates with me and my situation as well.
Yeah.
But did you have to learn? I'm asking. Did you have to learn to not take things from him as like personal criticism? Does that ring true?
Yes, absolutely. So when he wasn't excited about something, or he was worried about something that I was very excited about, it felt like it was crushing my dreams at first, and like that he didn't believe in me.
Yep. No, I get it. I promise you, I get it.
But after working through that multiple times, I was thankful because he saved us from some pretty substantial risks that could have ended up.
In hindsight, you're like, oh, I'm really glad you crushed that dream.
It's a two-way street, though, right? I mean, because the growth of our business is because she's a dreamer and she comes up with ideas and her brain is constantly thinking of the next thing.
Right.
And whereas my brain is focused on, okay, how are we going to manage the things that are currently bringing in income and going to kind of sustain our mortgage and our lifestyle.
Yes.
So like I enjoy focusing on those things, and so we've figured out a balance of she can be free to kind of go off and dream, and like we talk about those things, as business partners. And then my job is to kind of focus on making sure we're sustaining what we currently have going on. And this is how our business started in the first place, right? Like I had the job in finance and she started her business in photography. And so I had the consistent income coming in, and I liked that. But, she started growing this business and she was taking on those risks, and I had no problem with that. I liked it because it was what she wanted to do and what she loved to do. But there was a balance there. And now as she's kind of growing her education business, it's
like starting again.
It really is, isn't it?
All over,
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You kind of got a whole new thing with a whole bunch of more variables that get thrown into the mix.
Yep.
And so being on the other side of those initial struggles, I'll call them, for lack of better terms, what is it that you guys are most excited about, that's coming in the next year or two for your business and as a result, your relationship because you're working together?
Oh, I mean, we just hired our first employee.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
Which is
full-time
huge.
first employee.
That's a big deal.
And her name's Candace. She's wonderful.
Is she here or is she back holding down the fort?
She's back holding down the
running
fort.
the studio.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. We brought her to WPPI to kind of give her an experience with that.
Yeah.
But now we are having her back at the studio. But we're really excited to see kind of, her taking the ball and run with it. And she is just a jack of all trades. So
that's great.
She's going to take a lot off of our plate, and I think definitely Mykayla's plate, so that she can kind of further the education side of our business. And I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited about sharing what we've built. At first, it's interesting because when you work in your own little bubble as a photographer, unless you're going to these conferences, unless you're sharing your experiences, you don't really know.
You don't have
what
like
else
a
is out
basis
there.
for comparison.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so once we started sharing our story and our experience, and we realized that there were certain things that worked, that were really elevating our business, that we could share with others to help elevate their business as well. That, to me, like almost reignited the spark of why I formed this business in the first place.
So when you started coming to these things or these conventions and out of your bubble, like you're saying, were you're not going to want to answer this. Were you guys kind of like, we're pretty awesome? Like we're doing a pretty good job.
I mean, we started going to shows like this right from the very beginning. So it's when I say come out of your bubble, it's like I was absorbing everything I could. I didn't like sharing about what I was doing because I wasn't sure if it was good. I wasn't sure where the benchmark was. And so right from the very beginning of forming our business, we were at WPPI, we went to road shows, and then in the past few years, we've expanded to many, many more different conferences and just kind of seeing what else is out there. But, at first it was just us kind of like absorbing everything that we could.
Yeah, we were worried about asking like dumb questions, right?
Yeah.
But we quickly
Aren't we
learned is
all?
like there are no dumb questions, and everyone is here to kind of learn and grow on each other's experiences.
Isn't it funny how people are always like, there's no such thing as a dumb question, and yet in your mind you're like, yes, there is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're the ones that I'm probably going to ask.
Right?
Right?
But you know where they come from because you were there before, right?
Yes.
So it's like, that is kind of a tough question.
Yeah.
But we've been there, right?
Yes,
And we get
of course. What do you guys? What would you attribute your success to? If I had to nail it down to just a couple little things, like what have you guys done in the last 6 years?
I want you to go first because I have all these ideas, but you go.
So for us, I think we've always focused on the business side of our photography business.
You know where your pennies are at.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we were first and foremost focused on making sure that we provided a great client experience and that we were charging enough for that client experience.
Right out of the gate, you think?
Right out of the gate. That's
always pretty good.
That was always our goal.
Yeah.
And it was coming to conferences like these that kind of showed us that that's what we need to do. That, you can come to these and make sure that you're honing your craft. But if you're not making money, you're not going to be taking photographs for very long, especially not full time.
What was the spark and the difference between you guys regarding all of that? Between hearing it, right? Because, again, that's another one of those things that everyone is always going to say, I don't charge enough. That's what they always say.
Yep.
And then when I look at their numbers, I'm like, you're right. Every time. It never fails, right? What was the difference for you guys in knowing and doing?
See, for me, it was I was a business consultant before I started my business, and
you guys both had the background for all this already.
We did have a background, which definitely helped for sure. But for me, it's like, why not just try? Like, it's just you, right? You are the business owner, so why not just try? And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You're the only one holding yourself accountable.
Right. It's just.
But
you.
it's gonna work.
Right.
If you try, it's gonna work.
Are you one step closer to figuring out how to make it work? Yeah.
So what were your ideas? You said you had a bunch of them.
So I was going to add networking. I think I commend a lot of our past success to definitely stuff like this, getting out there, meeting people that we can fall back on when we do have a question that we feel is too stupid to ask in a public setting.
Sure.
And also getting to know our professional partners, like coming to the trade shows and getting to know the people that make our albums and the software companies that host our client management, and being able to establish real relationships with those people and know that, if we're having trouble with something or we're struggling with something in our business, that they're there to support us.
Yeah.
That has been huge for us.
Yeah. So, and you got to get out and make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Meeting them face to face.
And you never know. And you never know what's going to happen. Like I sat down and started plugging things in, and now I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it wouldn't have happened if none of us were here.
Exactly.
Right? And now look at this beautiful thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my other question then. What you guys are here talking about? I'll let you say it. What are you here discussing? What are you here to really share? specifically?
So here at Shutterfest, we're speaking on behalf of Firefly Song Freedom, and we are talking about in-person sales and
Video
marketing.
Yeah.
Go into a little. Give us like the short rundown on what that is and what your thoughts are on that.
So our philosophy behind in-person sales is really to make it client-focused. So we really want to almost brand it as an experience, so we can advertise that full in-person experience as part of what they're receiving by investing in us. And so we try and help photographers figure out a way to not feel salesy about it at all, even though they're making a lot more money.
Right. It's more organic, or it's more integrated maybe into the whole experience.
Yeah, it's more authentic. You know, it's focusing on the client and the deliverables.
And relationship is probably a pretty big part of that, your relationship with that client. How do you integrate video marketing? What's that look like?
Yeah, so we're here talking about that because we see so often that photographers don't even know how to like put their camera into video mode. And
this does video?
So I think there are a lot of excuses to get made into not putting out video marketing content for their business, and it's one of the huge forms of marketing that can actually move the needle for your business and differentiate you from your photographers down the road, and really show behind the scenes of what you're all about and the experience they can have with you, and kind of give them an experience with you and about you before they even meet you. And I think a lot of photographers are kind of missing the boat on that right now. So we're here at a photography conference to talk about video marketing.
And you're here to say that you should integrate video marketing into your
100%.
marketing strategy. Yep. And you're here to say, I'm guessing, you're here to say that it's easier than what you think it is.
Yes.
With the right tools and the right.
So we're going to go through all the different caveats and kind of talk about how to quickly set up your camera, what settings you need to have on your camera, and then send them out the door. Hopefully we can put together some shot lists and get some actionable stuff.
So for people that aren't here, or for people that hear this in 2021, what are ways, or how can people find you guys? Where do they go?
So our website is theharrisco.com, and our Instagram is HCO Photo Cinema. And
find us on Facebook.
Yeah, find us on Facebook, The Harris Company.
And do you guys offer various products and instructional aids that kind of go along with what it is that you're talking that people can acquire?
We do. So all of our educational resources are on education.theharrisco.com.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So if you want to find any of our free resources or any of our different speaking events that we have coming up or retreats that we're at, you can find all that info there.
Two more things. What advice do you have for the new, afraid people that are timid and don't have maybe some self-confidence and need a little boost? What do you have for them?
You got to come to an event like this. You
got to get out.
You really got to get out there, because there are a ton of photographers out there who are in the same shoes as you, and they come to these events and they kind of learn from each other, and it gives you the confidence that, okay, hey, I'm not alone in this. There are a lot of other photographers out there that can help me, and you need to build a community around you that can support you.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the energy here alone is what gives me the confidence to say, like, I'm going to do this. Like, I feel like so often as creatives, we have these ideas, but there's something there that just acts as this roadblock to, like, this fear of actually putting something into action. And the energy that you receive at these events is what gives me that permission, so to speak, to just get after it. And so
you get your own cheering squad from these things, right? Everyone's
it's
cheering
palpable.
you on.
Yeah. How? Okay, so this is my last thing. What sort of call to action would you have for people that are listening? Like a challenge or something that they can, some maybe simple thing that they can just do, like putting an idea into action, or, get off the couch, or what is something that you could have people do, a little challenge to throw out there? Maybe from a video standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, on your About page, set up a tripod, get behind your camera, and tell your clients what's different about you, what the experience is going to be like with you. And throw that up into your bio, and show me another photographer in your area that has video up there that is talking about the experience they can have with you.
Throw your phone on a tripod, sit down, and have a little conversation and put on your About page.
Yeah, or throw it into your lead email sequence.
Yes, I love it. Or on your social medias.
Yeah, post it on Instagram.
That's
put it
great
out there in
stuff.
the ether. Yeah,
that's a good one.
And I would add maybe just having like a routine check-in with yourself. I know when we were first in business and it was just us, that we really didn't have anyone to hold us accountable. And now that we have a studio manager, we schedule weekly success meetings, and it's almost comical how many weeks go by that we say we're going to do something that hasn't happened, and now we have that timeline ticking on us. Like, well, we said we were going to do this 3 weeks ago,
You put it out there
and
to
it's
somebody
still
else.
not
That's a great
done.
point.
And
Yeah.
so just having that weekly check-in and saying like, okay, last week I said I was going to do this and it's still not done. So like, do I need to get rid of it, or should it happen now?
And if you don't have an employee or a team, then go on to your Facebook group that is like your local photographers and say, hey, this week I'm going to do this, and then next week someone's going to ask you, hey, so did you do that?
I love it. Even if it's your mom. Sometimes I just got to go back to mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
She might be too much help, though.
Well, there also is that. You got to be careful. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being
awesome
there.
having
meeting
us.
you.
This was
Fun.
fun. We don't know who we are, and here we are sitting on a couch.
Now we're best friends. It's
Yeah,
great.
we are. We're besties. Thanks again, and have a wonderful Shutterfest 2018.
Likewise.
Thank you,
Thanks
you
for having
too.
us.